guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Dr. Stone. We are now on season 3, episode 8, which is called The Trump Card Aboard the Science Vessel. So, in the last episode, we had our away group finally manage to get to the island that they believe has the rocket ship that'll have all the stuff that they need in order to make perpetual revival fluid. And they thought they got in on a without being noticed. But we see that once the landing party got on shore shortly afterwards, petrification beam was aimed at the ship, and everybody on the ship, short of Suika, was petrified again. So now we see that our away team is aware of this. They don't know how it happened, but they discovered through meeting a local by the name of Amaryllis, I believe it was, that there is a master on the island that has the ability to turn people to stone, and that is basically how they've maintained control, and that she's been working to get into his inner sanctum so that she can figure out a way to stop him. So now Senku and his group are going to join with this young lady to see if they can figure out the source of the petrification beam, and more importantly, see if there's a way to reverse everything so they can bring the crew of the ship back to life. So I'm ready to jump into this episode. Just before I do though, if you'd like to be aware of when I drop these episodes, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, they're out of the way. Let's get into the episode right now. I forgot that they tear gas these kids. Like, that's a bit extreme even for you, Senku. But I guess he doesn't have Taiju here to effectively beat the crap out of all these people. Okay. The fact that she knows that word, though, just hits me. Petrification beam? So it looks like there's a lot more terms that have been flying around here. Or they just decided not to have to go through the whole the work of explaining it all. Oh, we're going into the past. Okay. So she's 18. The mustache, that's actually pretty crazy. You could give Gan a run from their money. That's the two tops? Oh, okay. I'm like, two tops. But that arrow, don't they have the same symbol that Soyuz has on his? So is that his tribe? Wait, but they have the markings of petrified people. Exactly 5 years, hey? Creepy. What is that? Ew. Thank you. Pervert, drown him, please. Immediately. Okay, so that's the beam. Right, like we went through this a few thousand years ago. We kind of hated it. But what did she throw? A rock? Yeah, well, she got shielded somehow. Damn, not that kind of a haircut. Girl, jump in the water. What are you waiting for? Okay, so it's got a radius. So she was just lucky. And obviously they got multiple pieces of it. Girl, stop the flirting. It don't work on nobody. Well, maybe Gen. Please tell me. Senku's not. Oh, of course. Look at this guy. Broken. Yeah, Senku's like, you good, girl, but it ain't gonna work on me. Right, Senku's like, I got a girl back home, Kohaku. She will eat you alive. Period. Senku said that is my wheelhouse. Oh, at least he waits till they're legal, I guess. Nasty. Okay. She's definitely confident. Girl, you think you're the first person who's tried? But I mean, I appreciate the ambition. Exactly. You gonna charm her too? She may not may not swing that way. Oh, Kohaku-chan. You're gonna have to. Hey, she's cute. Stop it. She's just a little bit, you know, assertive. She's very cute. We just let the girl here dress you up a little bit. That's all. A little less warrior, a little bit more demure. Thank you. Thank you. I was like, she just needs maybe a little makeup and a cute dress. I mean, she's a natural beauty, honestly, but you know, if this world, this island likes the way this girl looks, then Kohaku's gonna have to make a few tweaks. Exactly. Look like a local. Yeah, why not? Oh, really? It's true, you're gonna have to act like you're cute and demure. Girl, exactly like sis, we're gonna have to be a little ladylike here. Because that's what she usually wears. Excuse me, her face is perfect. I'm glad you recognize that science can't solve makeup. Well, I mean, sorry, science makes makeup, but the actual application is not scientific. Alright, back to the ship. But how do you know that the people... Okay, but I guess they assume no one else is on... I guess they didn't know someone came on land. Okay, that's what I thought. I love how Gen keeps tying her up. It's so funny because it's so needed. Oh, there's the leader. Damn, we don't need him getting a whole... You're gonna lose your stuff, Senku. So the master probably doesn't even exist. Yeah, you're all dummies. Destroying what? Destroy you? Exactly. Remember your place, footstool. No! Suika. And this is why they told you not to go down there, Kohaku. Recon. Recon. Those are some nice kicks. Just play along. He's like, we're gonna have to use our knowledge over these folks. You know Kohaku's been wanting to do that for a minute. Why are we still puckered, sis? Yep. But unfortunately, y'all are nowhere in a position to block. Oh, we should have just aimed that arrow at her. Oh, little Suika, still just like doo-doo-doo. You literally punted a child? Oh, right. I forgot he was diving. Stay down. That's it. I should have known. He will definitely be hiding on the ship. Fast thinking, actually. What are you gonna do, my friend? This is your chance to finally... That's about right. That's how it actually looks. I know they were all gonna be like, damn, not him. Not the biggest coward on the ship. Aw, that's sweet of you. I love that you turned him into playing cards. What was with the face in his cry? Okay. Yeah. He's not, please. You're acting like you do not know him. Come on. Not this man being obsessive compulsive. Kashan! I love that. I mean, they can give you a pretty mean headbutt and they're crotch length. Great, you're gonna steal everything. This sucks. Suika's still up there? Girl, I thought you left the ship, girl. So it was Suika. It's probably going to be mostly you, Suika. Thank God for you, because you've got both the brains and the bravery that we need. Oh my gosh, what a mess. But all right. Well, now we know that whatever this petrification device is, it looks like it's small enough to fit on the end of a rope. I mean, they've made sure not to show us any close-ups of what it actually looks like. I'm assuming some kind of a rock or maybe a small device. It's hard to say. I'm thinking probably a small device though, because I remember saying in season 1 that I felt like, Senku kept finding birds and all these small animals that had been petrified, right? And he was like, this is strange because overall the animals were left alone with the beam, right? Because otherwise there would be no life. But anyways, it indicates that somebody was testing the beam before they finally released the big one. So my guess is that these might be little testers that were just, I don't know if they were left behind or what, but I think little mini versions of the petrification beam are probably strewn all over the globe, and that whoever was on this island at some point found this beam and figured out what it could do, and from that point used it as a power grab to make sure that they could stay in control of everything. Now, hearing a couple of things, I heard that they said the master is younger, but it sounds like she doesn't know. Sorry, Amaryllis, I don't think she actually knows what the master looks like, but the master's advisor, who's clearly an older person, he's kind of running everything, right? She says he's the one who always issues the master's orders. He's the one who goes and makes the selection. He does all the decision making, so, or at least the outward decision making. So what that says to me is that he's probably the master. My guess is that he's probably spinning a tale telling everyone that the master exists, but really it's just him. And he just keeps, grabbing everything he wants for himself. And if anyone ever starts to question too much, petrified, right? So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe there really is a master, or the master is someone who's so young that they're unaware of like what's actually going on or what the advisor's actually doing. But there's something going on there anyways. I mean, I think the fact that no one has seen this master, and honestly, if you're somebody who has enough control over the island to be able to do what you want and petrify anyone who goes up against you, there's really no reason for you not to go out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't equate to me. Someone who's that much of a narcissist would need to be out and about and for people to see them, which is why it's giving the advisor. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that the advisor is actually the master, and that the master is either, like I said, either doesn't exist or is somebody who's playing a puppet role, and the advisor is really who's running things. But anyway, so we discovered that how Amaryllis knew about the petrification beam while the rest of the people there didn't, and the fact that she knows it's not actual magic. And we find out that 5 years earlier, her, and I'm assuming either a friend or a sister, they went out to sea, and apparently that's not allowed. And they were caught by the girl we saw here. What was her name? I forget her name. The warrior girl and her brother, I guess. They call them the two towers, or the two, what do they call them? They call them the two something. The two tops. They call them the two tops. And anyways, the boy is a pervert, so I'm really hoping that he gets petrified or tossed into an abyss. But either way, it looks like the girl does a lot of the dirty work. Like, she apparently has the right throw to do this. I mean, maybe the guy can too, because he was the one who told her that she was aiming too low. But either way, they apparently are the errand runners for the master and his advisor. And so she's the one who set off the device, and Amaryllis, thankfully, she was just outside the radius of the petrification beam. So that's why she survived, and that's how she found out what happened. And clearly the people there didn't realize that Amaryllis was the same girl on the boat. Otherwise, they probably would have gone back and finished the job. But anyway, we see that ever since then, that's when she's made it her mission to get into the good graces of the master, because she knew that the master would come to her village at some point and probably select her to be a wife. And then she planned to get the device away from him, and then, potentially, then people could finally take their power back. And Senku basically said, well, he's like, what you told me finally gave me some parameters around this beam, because up until now, I just have been racking my brain as to what this thing is or how it works. But thanks to Amaryllis' story, he now knows that there is a limit to the radius, and that it's, a limit to the radius. It can petrify the person who uses it, and length of time and something else. But there's a few things he found, which of course, from a scientific brain, these are things he can use to figure out ways to potentially either understand how to avoid it, how to circumvent it, or more importantly, potentially how to reverse it. So outside of the juice, the revival juice. But anyway, so that was good for Senku. And then Senku, of course, let her know that, yeah, we're aligned in our purpose. We need to get some things off this island, but if there's petrification beams out there, we definitely need to figure out how to get those, because that's not something anyone should have to live with. And so they decided, he said, we need to go, they decided that her plan to infiltrate was actually not a bad one, because then at least someone could be in to figure out where the beams are or how they work or whatever the case may be. But in the case of Amaryllis, she can't fight, right? Because they were all like, what happens if you get caught? Like, you're just going to be taken out. And she was like, well, none of the women know how to fight here except for obviously one of the two tops. But we see that Kohaku is the perfect person because no one on the island is going to expect that she can fight, and she can actually fight quite well. So anyway, they said that they're going to use her to infiltrate, but of course Kohaku is not. And I hate this because, listen, I am a firm believer that, you know, femininity is what you want it to be, okay? Like, it's the fact that this world says you're not feminine if you know how to fight, or if you've got muscles, or if you can take care of yourself, or if you're assertive is crazy. Those are all, that has nothing to do with femininity. That's just your personality. That's just part of who you are. And Kohaku is a warrior by nature, right? But that doesn't mean she's not pretty or feminine. But anyways, I get what they're saying in the sense of she doesn't fit the archetype of what this island perceives as beauty. So they're like, we need to, you know, zhuzh you up a little bit, make you look a little bit more like the girls here. And you're going to have to like act like you can't fight though, because then people are going to side eye you if you do. So they were in the middle of all that, and they realized that they need to go back to the lab on the ship to get what they need. But of course, we see that the advisor and a bunch of the people from the village are all there, and they're trying to figure out what's going on the ship. And it's not really good, because I knew that if they went on the ship, of course, there's going to be stuff that they want, right? The greenhouse is there, there's food, there's animals, they've got all that water, oil. I mean, they're not going to know what to do with the oil at this point, but you get my point. They're going to realize there's a lot of very valuable stuff on that ship. And the worst thing that could happen to these guys now is that they strip the ship, right? Because we see that one of the two tops, the chick was like, let's destroy it because we don't understand any of this stuff. And thankfully, thank God in this case, the advisor was like, hell no, that's not your call. Like, we're going to keep this for now. So anyway, that's where we're at. But we find out that it wasn't just Suika that got saved from the beam. We see that Ginro was actually still diving, and he came up as the beam was being fired. So he did just narrowly miss being petrified, and he's there. But of course, it's Ginro, and we know that he's got confidence issues, shall we say. I'm being nice. He's a coward. Anyway, so of course, everyone on shore is a little bit like, oh my God, we're screwed, because Ginro is too scared to do anything. But as I believe exactly what Kohaku said. Like, Ginro, he's definitely an 11th hour, like, Hail Mary person. You don't necessarily want to use him if you don't have to, but he does come in clutch when necessary. So she's like, we just got to hope that between him and whoever, I mean, well, actually, they did figure out Suika's on there too. He's like, between the two of them, I think they'll figure out a way to get the mobile lab to us without us having to go onto the ship. So that's going to be the mission of the people on the boat. We'll see what happens, because my guess is everyone's going to leave, right? The people that are there from the village are going to have to leave at some point. So that's really when Suika and Ginro are going to have to do their best to get that lab off the ship, onto that little boat, and somehow onto mainland before anyone notices. And we have to be very careful, because, I mean, one thing actually, no, Ginro did see that the advisor is like slightly OCD, because the fact that he was able to tell that a barrel had moved by an inch is crazy, right? That's the kind of stuff I've only noticed people who have OCD or autism have been able to notice, that level of fine detail of movement. So they're gonna have to be very careful. But either way, we see the plot is now on. So we got to get that lab so that we can get Kohaku in there and they can figure out what's going on with this beam. But the good thing is that, as I mentioned last episode, whatever they find out about this petrification beam will help a lot. And potentially, as I said, we'll see whether or not we even still need to go to South America after this, if Senku feels like he's gotten enough information from these mini beams that are stored on this island. So yeah, good episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I will see you in the next one.